I am now thrilled to welcome in soon-to-be Hall of Famer Ray Allen live from the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. And Ray, we were just talking to Steve Nash about legacy. He was saying how the Hall of Fame, just sitting in that spot you're sitting in right now, really forces you to think about it. So I want to start there. What do you want your basketball legacy to be as you go into this great institution?
Well, hey, Rachel, thank you for having me on your show. It's so unfathomable to think about where I'm sitting right now, because I'm looking up at all these faces, and everybody has a story, everybody has a team or a few teams. And for me, it's, my face will be up there. And I just want people, when they look up there, say, man, that guy was a gamer. Like, at the end of a game, during the game, he could put it in the basket for you. So it's interesting because now that I'm done playing, you can't sway somebody's thoughts anymore. They're going to say what they say, and hopefully I've left something good on their minds.
Absolutely. Well, there are, you say they're going to say what they say. There are a lot of people giving you props as you go into the hall, saying you are the best pure shooter they have seen. Who do you think is the best shooter of all time? You're going in with some great guys, and there's some great guys behind you, too.
Well, it's interesting because as a guard in the NBA, you think about the efficiency. A lot of people could shoot, and a lot of people can make shots, but you start looking at guys how to pick their shot. Coming off pin downs, coming off pick and rolls, shooting mid-range, just knowing when to shoot the right shot. Like, you can see a player construct the game or break the game down in a constructive way. And so, when I think about guys like that, I think about Reggie Miller as one of the greatest, and a guy like Dell Curry. Mm-hmm. Because when they had the ball in their hands, they made something good happen, yeah.
Absolutely. It's funny. The other thing you said in your opening answer, where you said, I want to be remembered as the guy that could make the shot at the end of the game. Man, Ray, I have been sitting courtside for you making some pretty huge shots. No one bigger than the shot you hit, of course, for the Heat in 2013 to extend that NBA Finals when those yellow ropes were about to go up around to give that trophy to the Spurs instead. Yeah. When you think about that moment, how different would that team have been? Would the league have been if you hadn't hit that shot, and you think of sort of the alternate course the NBA would have taken?
Yeah, and really you can make that case for a lot of things that happen in sports, but that was so profound at that moment because there were already questions in the air about certain guys on the team and what direction they were going to head in if they were going to opt back into their contracts. And when you win, it solves all the problems that you may have that face you. So it did. It changed a lot of opinions. And for us, we're only as good as our last game and if we won or not. And so for us, we got to take advantage of the moments, and ultimately that's what brought us back in 2014. Yeah,
100%. And look, as you say, winning brings these guys together. It's the glue, right? It makes all the bad stuff go away. And then, of course, afterward, we've seen what's happened with you and the Celtics. And Doc Rivers, was asked about it the other day, and he was really heartfelt. He was very emotional and saying such wonderful things about you and the way your team worked together in that time. He wishes he could help repair some of the rifts that are there. Have any of your former teammates reached out to you this week?
No. And, this is a great opportunity for me to celebrate with my family and my friends, all the past teammates I've had. What I've learned, Rachel, is this is all you have are moments. And I don't have any ill will against anybody. Everybody, good and bad, has gotten me to this moment. So I think about, the things I've learned, the bad times I've gone through the most that have allowed me to get back up again and say, let me get better. But it's, life is too short. So, what can you do? I love all the guys I played with in Boston. I loved all my teammates, and all we can do is move forward and just kind of take the people who want to be in your life and make a better life with them.
We've seen some nice moments in the last year or so with you and Paul Pierce. Do you think slowly at some point, you've been around the game for so long, Ray, do you think at some point this is all going to be water under the bridge?
Well, it's been water under the bridge for me. It's always been that way. When I moved on to Miami, what was so incredible was how open and welcoming the guys in Miami were. We had such, a great group of guys that made me a part of everything that they were going through. Even though I didn't win in 13 with them or in 12 with them, they made me feel as though I did. And so going forward, you just always know you want to be inclusive as opposed to exclusive. Make people feel a part of what you're going through as much as you can. So, after having left Boston, I didn't expect, it to be there to be any vitriol. Yeah, fans would be upset, but from the perspective of a team, I would have expected that, you understand and you move forward, you move on, like we all do, like sports is. We have the nature of our business is to figure out the next situation, and we all as players, we expect it and we respect it. We always celebrate a guy who signs a new contract. Regardless of how much money you make, whatever you get, you deserve it. So going forward, that's kind of how I expected it. And so it's bothered me. I've always hated to have any ill will or any animosity in the airways, but I'm not throwing it out there. I'm just happy to be moving forward. And the people who love me, they tell me on a daily basis, and I tell them. So that's all I can concern myself with.